whoever that makeup artist is. She did an amazing job. She incorporated pastel and flowers and overall creepy element as well, which is pretty much what I live for. So I'm going to stop talking right now and get on with the tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to do this skull makeup using Surreals. Now this face, this part of my face I should say, is already done. So I already primed this side. I just got to add some foundation, my concealer, and we can get started. But the primer has already been put on. I use Surreal Makeup Aloe Primer that we have. That's really good for your skin and very light. But do not use too much, otherwise you're going to get a heavy, sticky consistency and your minerals are not going to blend as well. So with that being said, first thing I'm going to do is outline my eyebrow. That's what I always do. I even decided to dress up more than usual for this look. I'm going to go as in-depth as I can as I do this. If I leave out some parts, I'm just going to put them in the caption boxes when I edit this video. Okay. So I'm just shaping my eyebrow first. Next I'm going to take a little bit of the Surreal Makeup Matte Mineral known as Mistress and gently fill in my eyebrow with it. I like to fill in my eyebrows using a very soft hand and light pressure technique. This way you get a good amount distributed. And I dropped one of my brushes. Pardon me. Got them. We all make mistakes. So now I'm just brushing out my brow. Taking a little bit of white wedding. Now you're going to draw out the hollowed in skull like I did on this side, on this one right here. You want to not get so close to the scalp area, but kind of, if you want to, even free-handed, just wherever you would want to have the shadows show the most along the contours of the skull. Color it in. And I'm going to show you what you're going to do while it is still wet and sticky, because any type of water-based type of face paint, at least from my experience, I notice tends to be a little sticky while it is drying, which is good because this is what I like to do. Going to take Solar Flare from Surreal. Good amount in there. Taking a flat brush. And you're just going to dab it on. The glitter is going to shine against the black. It looks very pretty. Now that that's all evenly being applied, take a little bit of Surreal foundation. Take a black pencil liner, go inside your eye, so you can make it all pitch black completely. While it is still sticky. I always keep a makeup wipe on hand when I'm using black loose minerals. This way it doesn't get in any light colors or it mixes with colors you don't want them to mix with. It's a little tip when working with loose minerals I've learned. Taking some more of foundation. Use it to shape your eye the way you want it to. Taking a little bit of Gorgeous. And we're going right here under our eyes. Taking a light amount to give us some dimension and give us that worn out, tired zombie skull look under our eyes. making little lines here just like how we did on this side. They don't have to be even. Now for the nose, I'm going to dip down. If you have any leftover black residue, I like to use it to fill in my hairline here. Now we're going to be doing the mouth. It's like here. So what I did, I just followed the natural curve and jawline I had here. That being done, now what you're going to take is the white mineral, A-list, Surreal, matte mineral. And you're going to go over where you went with the white. Next you're going to draw in the details in the teeth, and then we'll do shading. Now that that's done, shade it in and give it detail and dimension. going in with a little bit of white. I'm using Appletini to add some more detail in the shading underneath and giving it that coolish green mint effect. Taking a little purple to my nose and adding in, at this point I'm just adding in detail and shading wherever I would like to. That's what you can do as well. I'm going to take one of my favorite types of lashes. Give it a second for it to get tacky. Now taking my shimmer known as Aztec. To be adding some shine and shimmer. That's what it looks like, so you may see it. I think the green hues and gold hues complemented really nicely for this look. Be a lower skull, we want to be a glamorous one. Taking a little bit of white wedding also for this. It's a little extra. I'm putting it on the teeth. Taking a little bit of mythical. A little bit of shine and highlight never hurt. finally got them on. Now for the final touches, I decided to go with a funky color of bangs for this look. Take this cute little hair clip I have. And there we have it. So this is my complete look. I hope everyone enjoyed. I'm sorry for the awkward moments that I paused in between. Just certain things on here I kind of need to concentrate a bit to make sure it comes out exact and correlates symmetrically. So with that being said, like I said in the beginning, I'm going to be putting in some caption boxes and it'll better describe what exactly I'm doing as I take my time and make sure everything is done correctly for this look. But yeah, this is the completed look. I hope everyone enjoys it, and happy Halloween. There's going to be more to come. This is my favorite time of the year. I get excited and I just keep thinking about what I want to do next. If you guys have a Halloween idea in mind that you want me to try and create for you, feel free to leave a comment down below. All this, of course, was using Surreal makeup. Their shimmers is what brought this magical little beauty all together. And if you do have setting spray, like if you're going out wearing this on Halloween, which I probably plan to, little setting spray never hurts. So thank you everyone for watching this YouTube video on this tutorial. I hope I was able to do this look justice, and this was a lot of fun. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.